Hi, everybody. Welcome to School of Scarlet. Today I have another message for you. So, if you have been following my channel, you probably noticed that most of my messages come from intuition, from nature, from inspirations in the moment, things that are occurring in my life now. So, my previous video that I made to this, I shared some of those cards that I have, some of the cards that we have here at our house. And so, I have quite a few others, believe it or not. And these cards are really something that my husband has really been inspired by. And for me, it has really turned into a lot of beautiful experiences that I get to share. So, one of the things that I'm doing today is I'm taking some modeling pictures with one of our race cars that I haven't taken pictures with. Now, I've taken pictures with some of our previous cars, some other cars that we have, and just modeling in general. I used to model as a teenager. I modeled for J.C. Penney's, for Visible Changes, and some other things. So this has been something that's been a passion of my life, but the reason that it reemerges and why I continue to be able to do these pictures and things, a lot of them is due to these cars. They give me those experiences to be able to model and take these pictures with these cars. Now, it's just something that I enjoy doing. One day when I get to be 80 or 90 years old, I can look back at these pictures and these cars, and I'm sure it'll be really thrilling to share in the nursing home. Anyhow, so today I'm getting ready for that, but as I'm doing that, different things have come to my mind. So recently, my husband shared a story with me about a podcaster on YouTube called Rob Pitts. And he recently just passed away in August, late August, of stomach cancer. And so he was sharing with me his legacy. And then he shared some of these podcasts with me, which we listened to together. And one of them really stood out to me today as I was getting ready to take these pictures and have these experiences of modeling with my race car. So the story that he told in one of his YouTube podcasts, and I'll link it down below so you guys can listen to it. He's really a wonderful storyteller, and he really captures the car life really nicely. So I'll link that down below. But anyhow, he tells a story about a Corvette that he was very much in love with that they had on display at one of the dealerships when he was growing up. So this was back in the 80s. And it was a beautiful white Corvette, white on white or something, I think he described. And he just fell in love with this car as a child. And later on in his life, now more recently, he wanted to relocate that car and have that car. It didn't have to be that particular car, but he wanted that same type of car, same color, same year, everything. So when he went out to look for this car, he did find someone that was selling a car that was that same Corvette with that same interior in that same year. And he called up the person and he, talked to him about the vehicle, and the person talked to him about it and let him know that this car was just beautiful in pristine condition. Nothing was, messed up, ripped, nothing was like that. But that the car had been sitting in a showroom all of these years and had very, very few miles on it, like very few. And he was really intrigued by this because it was exactly that car and it was beautiful and in that great condition. But when he went to go look at it in person, he was in love with what it looked like and everything about it. But the fact that it had been sitting in a showroom and now a garage without having been driven, he turned it on. And as he did this, every single light on that dashboard came on, all the emergency lights, everything like that. And he got very concerned. And so he talked to the owner of the vehicle at the time, and he let him know what his concerns were. And the owner of that vehicle let him know that this car was not to be driven. It just hadn't been taken care of in that way. It hadn't had its fluids run through. It hadn't left the garage or showroom in, many, many years. So that gave him a lot of concern because as a car enthusiast like he was, he wanted to drive it. He wanted to experience the car. And you see, we can have different kinds of experiences of life. We can have experiences where we're just in a garage and nothing's really going on in our lives, or we can experience what it truly is to live and go out on the road and experience life. So this got me really thinking about, and I'll link that video down below because there's more to that story and it's pretty incredible. So you'll want to check that out. But it really got me thinking about the cars that we have. And we have a lot of nice cars, and a lot of times people are very surprised to learn that we drive these cars, that we take these cars to car shows and literally drive them there. While some people trailer in their cars, we drive our cars to car shows. We take our cars out for our dates. When we go on date nights, we go in one of our cars. We take our cars out on these car cruises or drives where we drive to really unique and interesting places in groups, of car people, and we travel the world with it. So we have these experiences. Other things that we've done, like this kind of race car that I'm going to take the pictures with, it's been a charity event car. It's gone to hospitals and, where there's children with cancer and stuff like that, raised money, and children have gotten to experience these cars. We've taken them to museums. We've taken them to many beautiful places and had these experiences. And for me, I get to model with them. I get to, go on these dates with them, these car cruises, so many different things with them. And so the experience of having the car is not just left in its beauty or uniqueness, it extends out into its experiences that it brings us. So it really had me connecting today the message that I want to share with you. And the message that I want to share with you is that just like a car is basically an extension of the driver, our human body is an extension of spirit. And our humanness is really something to be loved and to really get into and allow it to go on to this journey of life. Spirit is here experiencing infinity, the multitude of things that we can experience in our life. And that's the beauty of life. But I oftentimes find a lot of people that are really rejecting their humanity, trying to find enlightenment, trying to transcend humanity, trying to find other realms, other things. And I really want to point you back to the uniqueness and the beauty of who you are. You see, just like any car, it's actually very unique, even though there are maybe, thousands made of this one car or whatever this unique car is. Each and every car is unique. The experiences it has had, the maintenance that it has had, the owners, everything that it's done is very, very unique. And it just comes to mind that one race car that I'm taking pictures with today. I wrote a book about it, and I wrote a book about it because this car came with a binder of all of the experiences this race car had had. Yes, it has been on NASCAR and raced, on famous races and stuff like that, but after that time, it had a very unique life. And so when we got this car, it came with a binder of its story. And so I wrote that story into a book, and I've also extended it to what we have done with the car since we've obtained it. So the story of a car is much like the story of our humanness. We are born unique. We're born individuals. There's something special and unique about each and every one of us, each and every one of you. And throughout your life, you'll experience many different things. And no one other person has experienced exactly what you have. Nobody. It's a very unique experience that you've had. Whatever it is that you've experienced, whether it's, motherhood, whether it's your career, and a combination of all of these things, they put together a beautiful story of who you are, just like that beautiful story of this race car. So I want to really point you back today to the beautiful aspects of being human and how really being human is an extension of spirit wanting to experience life. And we shouldn't really shun life or try to transcend our humanness, rather go into it and really have the beautiful experiences that we are so yearning to have. So whatever is in your heart, whatever it is that's yearning to be experienced, go out there and do it. Go out there and experience it, because you see, if you just sit back or you try to avoid your humanness, or you try to, shelter yourself in a garage, or let's say in your home, you're going to miss out on so much of life. There's so much beauty in this life to be experienced. I don't care if you're 18 years old or you're 80 years old. There are still so many experiences to experience and so much that you could be doing. And just like a car, when it's in a garage or in that showroom, it really loses its ability to live. Just like that car, that Corvette that Rob Pitts was talking about, it really couldn't drive anymore. It won't ever really have that capacity, really. It will take a whole lot to get it to be able to drive. It will take a ton of maintenance, a ton of replacing of parts, a ton of getting it back up to speed for it to even drive, because it hasn't been driven all of these years. It's just been sitting back. And just like ourselves, if we, shelter ourselves in our house, or we remove ourselves from life, it's going to take us quite a bit of time to get comfortable with life once again. So this is really a video to encourage you to get into life, to allow yourself to be part of life. You don't want to forget what it's like to be social, to be around people, to travel, to have these beautiful experiences. Allow yourself to be young at heart, because you see, we really don't age. Spirit is ageless, and it's right here within us. We can feel old, our body, our vehicle can feel old, but we're truly young at heart. And that's what we need to connect with, that really childlike nature of ourselves. I was also thinking about car shows and things like that we do with charity and all of this and that, it really builds a sense of connection. And the thing about us as humans, as experiencing the humanness of ourselves, is that we're really meant to connect. And you see, even cars bring connections. Like when we go to car shows, we meet other people that, are also car enthusiasts, and we get friends and we join clubs, and it really expands our life. It really expands our view and our experiences of life. If we hadn't done these things, we wouldn't have these experiences. So it's really important to connect, to also allow ourselves to connect with others in our community, connect with others at work, wherever you find yourself, connect with others. Don't separate yourself. Allow yourself to be part of all, because essentially you are part of all. You're part of everything. And so that's what this message is really about. It's really about you kind of finding yourself once again, getting back on that journey, just like a road trip. You're going to go all kind of places. You might even get lost on your road trip. You might even run out of gas. You might, who knows what will happen. You might break down, or you might see beautiful things along the way, or you might, experience this kind of roadside attraction you didn't even expect and get totally detoured and find yourself somewhere totally different. Or on your road trip, you might find the love of your life and your life changes. You don't know what will be on your road trip. You don't know what you will experience, but that's the beauty of it. You see, the beauty is the journey of being human, of experiencing things in life, of going on that road trip. So I really hope that today that this message found you well, that it resonated with you, and that you'll go out there and you'll enjoy the ride. So if this message resonated with you, give me a thumbs up, a heart, comment down below how it resonated with you, share it with others today so that they may be inspired to get back on the road themselves. I love you all, and I will catch you on our next message.